Yeah, it bothers me. End of story. I'm not going to stand here and rant about it for 15 minutes because there's no point.
Okay, explain this point to me, right? You're desperate for work.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody calls you
Mm-hmm.
for work and you don't answer the phone. Or you choose to hang up.
Priorities? We were just about to start the live recording.
So this has
and you always put high priority on the live recording. So I wanted to do one thing at a time, as you always tell me. Okay, I wanted to finish the live recording and then go back, call her back, and do whatever she needs because she always waits. I mean, 1 hour is not. It's not like she's not like a massive agency that has 30 minutes for confirming a job. She doesn't even have it confirmed from her client yet. I have been working with her for ages, and this is how she always operates. Okay? So it's not that I don't value her time or anything, but she understands that when I'm doing something, I don't have to pick up the phone immediately and answer immediately. And she...
Did what I asked you to do get you one step closer to the job?
It did,
okay,
and I would have done it in an hour, and I would be one step closer to a job in an hour as well. And this would have already been going live on Facebook, which it's still not, and I'm still waiting for it so that we can get on with it, so that I can continue doing things. Because I don't have time to stand here and just talking without actually being live. I mean, I came here to do this live video. I didn't come here to have a chat. I've got things to do.
Okay.
Okay, you might have a day off, but I don't.
A day off?
Yes.
A day off?
Well, that's what you called it this morning.
A day off.
I asked you when you were leaving.
A day off of teaching.
Yes.
A day without meetings. It doesn't mean a day without work.
Well, it's like when you said that you didn't work at Christmas. Bahaha, you did exactly the same as you did today. Did your email?
Well, it's not a day off then. By definition,
exactly.
It's not a... I don't have days
But don't
off.
call it
Entrepreneurs
that,
don't
then.
have days off.
Don't call it that then.
Okay, what would you like me to call it? How would you like me to express that to you? I'm not coaching today. Would you like me to express it like that?
I am working from home today, not teaching anybody.
I always work from home.
Well, sometimes... Well, no, because on Thursday you go out and you work in the companies that you teach in or wherever, at your clients.
Oh, yeah, it's Thursday today. That's true. It's Thursday.
Yes, so I
Thursday's my
was
day.
expecting you to leave at 11 and come back at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But it being Christmas...
Well, it's not Christmas.
It is for 1 billion people out there on the planet.
28th of December. 28th of December is when businesses are open, post offices are open, banks are open. Everybody is normal works. Only teachers don't. Lazy motherfuckers.
They don't.
Because they have holidays. And pupils don't because they have holidays. Our pupils do.
Yeah, well, that was Christmas. You had it. Did you have fun? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Now back to work, you
That
bastards.
was Christmas. Now, back to work, lazy hours.
Oh my gosh. Right. Right. So how you didn't answer my question?
Well,
did you?
Which question?
How would you like me to express it?
Well, I did.
What was it?
I said, tell me I'm working at home today, but not teaching.
Okay, I'm working at home today, but I'm not teaching. Or
You tell me I'm having a day
mentoring.
off. It's like, oh, I'm having a day off. I'm going to stay in bed for an hour.
When was the last time I fucking had a day off like that? Fuck me, it must be about 1 billion years ago.
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
You're easy to confuse.
Yes.
Right, you're easy to confuse.
I am very easy to confuse by you. I usually don't get confused by other people.
No?
Mm-mm.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't know if you were.
Mm-mm.
You see? Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. You wouldn't know if you were.
You're very confusing to me. Because you say things that you don't mean. And then you mean things that you don't say.
For example?
For example, we're doing parenting at 11. Okay. And then I come and I ask about amazing parenting, and you go like, the practical parenting.
I didn't say parenting.
Course.
I said practical parenting this morning. I did.
You didn't specify.
I did.
You didn't specify.
I did. Maybe you didn't hear it.
Because
Maybe
I came to you
kinda...
and I said, what time do we do the recording today? And you said 11.
Yes, because naturally what's not done yesterday needs to be done today. It doesn't just automatically do itself because you don't do it. It doesn't suddenly become okay because it's not done.
So what's
oh well,
not
I didn't
done
do it.
today
Oh well, that
gonna
makes it okay
get
then
done
because it
tomorrow,
wasn't.
Right?
Sorry?
So what hasn't been done today is going to get done tomorrow.
Absolutely, it must
What
be.
hasn't
Otherwise,
been done
otherwise
tomorrow
you're otherwise
is going to be done on
otherwise
Saturday.
you're
So everything's gonna
you're going
shift.
backwards. Otherwise, you're not up to date.
You're already not up to date if we have to move everything one day further, but okay.
That's what I said. That's what I just said. I just explained it like that.
Great.
You're just repeating what I said. Yes,
Can we
that's
start talking
that
about
which
something
is
normal?
what?
Normal.
Absolutely. What topics would you like to discuss today?
Today I would like to discuss the topics of how the hell do we stop Jasmine and Zora fighting over every single freaking thing. It's beginning to
Well, they're not fighting right
push
now.
my buttons. Well, they're not because they're glued to the screen. That's about the only time they don't fight. When they're glued to the screen and when they're eating. Even when they're eating, they're fighting over the ketchup bottle.
Okay, look, it's not Zora going to Jasmine and starting a fight. It's Jasmine going to Zora and starting a fight. Is that correct? That's my observation.
No, not always.
I haven't seen it. I haven't even seen it once the other way around.
Really?
Yes, I haven't seen it
What
once.
about when Zora gets crazy and starts chasing everybody around and starts forcing hugs on Will and on Jasmine and starts...
That's not the first situation that you described. That's a different situation. You said, how do we stop fighting between Jasmine and Zora? I have only seen them fight, only ever seen them fight when Zora goes to Jasmine and when Jasmine goes to Zora and tries to take something out of her hands.
I've seen it the other way around.
I have not seen it the other way around.
Oh,
Not at all.
I have.
Not at all. Okay, so from my perspective, and I wonder if you're getting all the information when you say you've seen it the other way around. Because
they fight. They start. Each of them starts fights differently. Okay. Jasmine starts the fights when she tries to take things away from Zora. Zora starts the fights when she's trying to force herself onto Jasmine with some things. Either with physical contact or with trying to take over the game or trying to get her to play something that Jasmine doesn't want to play.
Okay. If that does happen, then it's to a much lesser degree. Because
it is to a lesser degree.
To a lesser degree, okay. So I would say that the priority would be to stop Jasmine taking things out of Zora's hands, and the only way that I think that can be done is, first of all, to ask her not to do it. Secondly, to
done that a million times.
Secondly, to tell her that there are consequences for these actions that are wrong, and thirdly, to remove her from the situation. That's it.
And we're doing that.
That's it. And then remove her and explain to her what she has done that is wrong, or what she is doing that is wrong.
She doesn't take it on board.
She will eventually.
Right.
It's just a process of repetition until it's understood. Because
so
there is no.
Have to take Prozac.
There's no other option. Excuse me?
I said I'm just gonna have to take Prozac then, until it clicks.
What's wrong with that? Lots of other people do it. They seem to be okay.
Right. Parenting advice number 1. Stock yourself in Prozac.
I'm sure the doctor would be very happy to provide some kind of... it's not a good idea to put your computer on this table here. No, because you're putting it on the cables. And the cables should not have things sitting on top of them.
Well, I've got...
you okay there?
Not happy. You always tell me to bring in information, but I can't really.
Bring information. Yes, bring
Because,
information. Bring your brain. Bring
I
information.
have it in my computer, right?
Welcome to the
And
Practical Parenting Podcast. Have we
I've
done
got
the introduction
information.
yet?
No. Have you?
That's it. Welcome
I've
to
got it in my computer, but my computer doesn't survive, right,
Doesn't
for
survive.
a very long time.
You're shaking the table.
So yeah, I've got information,
bothered.
bond building ideas to help siblings get along.
Oh, good. You're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Just a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay. Well, then share your knowledge with us so
The
that we can all
the knowledge is
grow.
is from
Hello, camera's over there.
I'm trying to read it.
The camera. You stop bowing out of the picture.
Parenting.org.
Could you?
And the information goes as follows. You can give me your feedback on it.
Goes as follows.
Yeah, number 1, special time.
Unbelievable.
Play with your kids. They basically say set a certain amount of time every day. They suggest 10 minutes, although I think that's a bit short.
It's very short. You can't do
And
anything in 10 minutes.
Play completely, focusedly and undisturbedly with one child every day for 10 minutes. Like each one of them, right? So you've got like 10 undisturbed minutes with one, and then another, and then another.
I've been doing that this morning.
Yeah.
Yes. I made sure I had 10
And
minutes.
that's supposed to like get their needs satiated, and
You're now throwing things at each other.
yeah. And that can help them not feel, that can make them not ask for your attention one over another, just competing for your attention basically. And the next tip they have is use affectionate games like cuddling and chasing around and tickling and just being
And
all
how does
happy.
that have an effect? What kind of
I
effect
have no
does
idea.
that have?
The kids' emotional vessel will be fulfilled, right? And they won't feel the need to compete for your attention.
I don't think they're competing for attention when they fight. Is that the problem?
And now my computer turned off.
You're so prepared.
And then
You're
the next
so
point
organized.
was roughhousing, right? It's like
Oops.
roughhouse with your kids. If you initiate a roughhousing game, then apparently you can let them let the steam out and fight it out in a friendly environment while you're monitoring it to make sure they don't hurt each other.
Is that a police car? Has your computer turned into a police car? Why is it making that weird
don't
noise?
I don't know.
Are you
It's
okay?
scary. I am. Ask my computer. I've never heard that happening before ever.
Your computer's going. Oh look,
I think they're wrestling.
I think
Jazzy, can you get off your sister, please?
your sister is not a horse.
Jazzy, you're really heavy. Get off your sister. Will, can you move your Jasmine? Your Jasmine.
Your Jasmine.
Can you move your Jasmine off your Zora, please? Jasmine, get off the Zora. Can I just give them all articles? Jasmine.
Jazzy, okay. The other thing is that Zora is
The victim.
playing victim a little bit because she could like wriggle out of situations and she doesn't. She likes to, she's not okay. If she doesn't get out of that now, if you don't get out now, you're going to get hurt. I keep saying this to her. And then
Zora, get away from there.
Zora, if you will get hurt if you stay there. And she chooses to stay in it. She's older. She's more responsible. She knows more. She understands
And do you know
the
what that is?
situation. Excuse me?
Do you know what that is?
What's that in the sentence? I don't know.
Asking for attention.
What,
You told me they
playing
don't
the
do
victim?
things. They don't do things to ask for attention. I think her playing a victim is asking for attention because she's asking for my intervention.
No, she could. Ooh. Issues. So you think that she wants more attention? Hello, are you going? Are you? First of all, oh. There we go. Well, that's going to lead to an issue. That's going to lead to a lot of crying. I can see that one coming a mile away. There we go. So, Anka was asking the question, how do you stop siblings fighting with each other? I gave a reasonable solution, and acknowledging the fact that you have to remove people from the situation of conflict, and things take time for people to understand. The people, we're talking about kids. Well, you know what an adult understands in 5 seconds has maybe taken them 25 years to get to that point. So you can't expect children to understand things in the same way that adults understand things. You can't expect children to pick things up as quickly as possible. And with children, there's a lot of repetition involved. And it does get tedious. It gets tiring. It plays on your nerves. It plays on your patience. You've got to you've got to focus. You've got to see problems before they arise as well. You've got to know that, or see that something is coming, something's going to happen, and try to intervene. Thank you very much for the weather forecast, Will. We're on a podcast, so you know the rules.
Can you move out of my way?
Oh, is that
not on the screen, please.
Not
Not on the screen. It's not appropriate. We're a family-friendly program.
I don't know what that was. It's a weird thing in my hand.
Jellyfish.
What? Jellyfish.
Jellyfish.
Jellyfish is like this.
This is the long-armed squid, then.
The what?
The long-armed squid.
That looks nothing like a squid. What relationship does that have to a squid? Have you ever seen a squid?
Because, tell you what,
long-armed
squid has the longest arms in the ocean, and is the only squid who has elbows. I have elbows, he has elbows. So,
you're saying the long-armed squid is actually a real creature?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And it's got elbows?
Yeah.
Does it like lean on rocks like this? Or?
Yeah. Can elbow you in the face as well.
Must be good at Tai Chi or Krav Maga or
pretty awesome.
Or
imagine 8 elbows.
8 elbows. You couldn't defend yourself against 8 elbows.
No. Elbowing you everywhere.
It'd be great if you're traveling on the underground at rush hour. Not that squids have that problem, of course, but
get past.
How was that? Can you do that again?
Get past.
Is that how you do it?
That's how you get past with elbows.
Is that how mothers do it?
Yeah. Well, no, because when you're a mother, you're holding kids in your hands, so you can't really do that. You have to use your knees.
Is that how you carry your kids? Like one under each arm? Is that how you do it?
No, you're holding their hands, so you can't elbow yourself through. But in other situations,
it must be annoying not being able to elbow yourself through.
It is extremely annoying. Yeah. I love elbowing.
Yes. Where's the remote?
It's very remote.
Oh, you've remoted it over there.
I don't. Is it? Did I?
Look.
Zara.
It's not listening to you.
Can you approximate the remote, please?
What does that mean?
Can you bring it here, please?
It's next to the monitor. Ba ba ba. Who's monitoring who? That is the question.
Thank you.
You're an angel, dear, in a sheepy PJ uniform.
She's very sheepish today.
Yes?
My shoulders are not big, by the way.
What?
My shoulders.
Your shoulders are massive.
No, they're just normal girl.
It's as if you've been taking drugs or something. You're on steroids again. They're huge.
Less steroids than you.
What?
I have less steroids in me than you.
I don't do steroids.
You have testosterone though.
If there were any.
That's a steroid.
Well, that's natural.
Yeah. I have less of that than you do.
Well, that's a good thing. You'd be a man otherwise, wouldn't you? You'd have hair in places where you don't want it.
So yeah, no steroids here.
No?
It's just the natural beauty. It's the full package that I come in. Shoulders and all.
Gift wrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gift wrapped in shoulders.
Yeah. Your hair's funny.
Well, doesn't do the hook thing again. Well,
No,
there's that.
you've got the horns thing coming out each side,
Yeah.
and because your hairs makes your head look a bit like funny shape today.
No. Do you know why that is?
Because it is a funny shape.
No, because I've lost a lot of hair.
Again,
Yeah.
where did you lose it? Have you looked for it?
Well, I have.
It's probably with your phone.
No. I have a theory.
Yeah.
Yes, I took some antibiotics because I had a problem with my tooth and I didn't want it to be taken out. So I took the antibiotics that the dentist gave me. And so, no, this is going to help. This is obviously rubbish. She just didn't want to have to pull it out herself. And that was before I was traveling to Scotland, so I didn't really have any other options. So I took the antibiotics, and I think that's why my hair was falling out slightly more than usual. And every time that happens, and then it starts renewing itself, and it starts growing out like this, right? This is the new hair that's growing after the old hair fell apart, whatever. So that's why I look stupid. This is what happens every time.
Whack my mic.
Sorry, Mike. This is what happens every time I lose hair after pregnancies as well. Yeah, it's just silly.
It's molting constantly.
That's because I'm constantly pregnant.
As you do. As you do.
And when I'm not, I take antibiotics. Just so that I don't get out of the practice.
Naturally. Absolutely naturally.
You have to practice molting every day.
So, what question were you looking at with the?
That was how to help siblings get along, or something like that.
Is it sibling fighting?
Siblings, yes.
Sibling fighting.
Oh, I guess you can find it that way. I don't know because I didn't look for it that way.
What to do about sibling fighting?
It's like how to help siblings get along. And it was the only infographic I could find. Everything else was just long articles.
Long articles.
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously just a simple way that I explained it. That's how you do it.
Yeah. So yeah, another option there was.
There's one kid on top of another kid about to punch them.
Yeah, that looks just like Jasmine. And Stop 11 ways
from
to end
happyhooligans.com.
for good.
There you go.
Yep.
Right.
That's Zora on top of Jasmine, not the other way around.
Yeah, but we've got the reverse problem. We've got the little one on top of the big one.
Well, that was the little one on top of the big one.
Was it?
Yeah.
11 surefire ways.
I tell you what I've observed.
Tell me what you've observed.
I'll tell you what I've observed. I have observed that
we're off to see the wizard.
The dynamic of the squabbles changes according to the parenting style. If you are the authoritarian parent who spanks their kid, then you're going to have the older kid being mean to the younger kid and taking out their aggression on the younger kid. If you are the kind of parent who is very gentle and communicative, then you're going to have the younger kid attacking the older kid because the younger kid doesn't understand yet. It doesn't have the cognitive abilities to not to, basically. So isn't that interesting? I just came up with that right now.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah, I just made it up. I don't have it statistically, like by large numbers, right? But I have observed that. I do have some numbers. I have observed that in the families round about me.
Okay. 11 effective ways to stop sibling fighting. For good.
Forever.
Way number 1. Get them to hold hands. Or sit nose to nose.
Like that?
That's scary. You've got one eye when I do that. Right.
That might work, okay. We'll try that.
So parents have said, I make my kids sit on the couch and hold hands. I tried to do this before an argument is about to break out. I just ask the siblings, do you need to hold hands? That's not going to work with some kids.
It's not going to work with Jasmine at all. You're going to say, Jasmine, come sit on the sofa and hold hands with Zora. Jasmine's going to go, no, I want to play with End of story.
I used to. I like the way that people use language. I used to have my kids sit on the floor. What kind of sentence is that? Is that even English?
I used to have.
I used to have my kids sit on the floor.
Used or use?
I used to have. It's just bad English.
Right.
It's bad English everywhere.
Right.
That Mike Cernovich article was full of terrible English. Okay. I used to have my. Why not just say I used to ask my kids to sit on the floor, nose to nose, when they wouldn't stop fighting. This usually lasts about 20 seconds, and then they would laugh.
Okay.
Why do they laugh?
Because they have one eye.
Get them to look at each other. People can't look at each other very long before laughing.
Yeah, but the thing is with toddler that doesn't work because nothing stops her.
I wonder how old those kids are.
I mean, it
Doesn't
could
say.
work with like 8-year-olds or whatever, but it's not going to work with a freaking 2-year-old.
Make a t-shirt and call it the punishment t-shirt. This is number 2. Call it the punishment. The t-shirt must be big enough for 2 people to wear, one t-shirt, and they have to walk around wearing it.
It's going to be one of your old t-shirts then.
That's a picture. Look. It's a t-shirt, and it's like Daddy's t-shirt. Obviously, Daddy here is very fat, right? So it's Daddy's t-shirt, and they have to wear one t-shirt. It's called the get-along t-shirt.
So that they can punch their faces.
Well, I
more
imagine
effectively.
it would be. You know what? You could do the 3-legged thing where you tie their legs together. No?
Which is evil.
Well, not all of the legs, just like, you know. You know what I mean, the 3-legged race kind of thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah. You wouldn't just tie.
I'm like,
You wouldn't
tied
just,
Zora's legs together and ties Jasmine's legs together.
and then tie them all together. You wouldn't do it like that.
And
That would-
and then make a bow.
one would be crawling one way, one would be crawling the other way.
Okay.
It would just be
Cruel and
nightmare.
unusual punishments.
I like the-
Episode 1.
How would you get them into the t-shirt if they're fighting? Would you just
Yeah.
have to creep up behind them and like?
It's for older kids. T-shirt now.
But Mom,
Now.
I don't want to.
Now. Now. This instant, or you're going straight to your room and you're not getting breakfast and dinner and lunch and breakfast and dinner and lunch in the other kind of order.
Mommy, stop pointing. Okay. Older kids can be made to do chores whilst crammed into the t-shirt together. Can you imagine? Okay, guys, clean the bath.
Each one hand. Each only has one hand.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. Imagine getting them to carry something. That would be fun.
Oh God. Will can't carry things normally. No,
That would be like one of
let
those.
alone with
That would be one of those funny sort of getting to know you icebreaker kind of games, right? You know,
Oh, it would be a bit too close. I mean, imagine you've got, right? Well, like, you
2 fat
got a
people.
new
What?
team, like colleagues, right? And you do a male and a female t-shirt, that might be a bit too close. Imagine
You
you've
just
got,
hit me. You just hit me.
imagine you've got somebody like this in a t-shirt, poking you with their boob. I wouldn't like
What's wrong
that.
with that?
I wouldn't like that.
You wouldn't like to be poked by somebody's
I
boob.
wouldn't like to poke somebody with my boob.
You don't have to.
Thankfully.
Oh, okay. The point is they have to work together.
Imagine them washing dishes. One holds and the other one scrubs.
And then they're all dropped and they smash on the floor.
Yeah.
That would be just just fantastic, right? Okay.
Fantastic.
A job jar. So this person suggests, I think about a dozen chores and write them on small strips. But that's not going to work. You have to pick out a job. That's silly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
Something happened.
what? Something happened.
We've lost Facebook.
I lost Facebook. Hold on. We'll get
It's
it back.
because I yawned.
Yeah, of course.
Punishment
Your
because
mouth
I
is too
yawned.
big. It's like a black hole. It just sucks everything in.
Facebook got offended and decided to misbehave
Off-ended.
because I yawned. Sorry,
Yeah,
Facebook.
well, but
It's
the
not
com-
that you're boring.
It's like this computer. These computers called personal computers are really not very personal. Yeah.
Don't take it personal.
No. Anyway,
What is that thing?
A money jar. Would you stop trying to pull your hair out?
See? Zora came to Jasmine.
Oh, okay. Zora. So Zora's starting this one.
Yeah.
Oh, she's starting it by poking her.
Forcing herself onto Jazz.
Oh, by poking her legs.
Zora!
Zora.
Can you leave Jasmine alone, please?
Yeah, because she
Thank
will
you.
probably rip your arms off, which is difficult. Otherwise, we'll force you to wear one of Daddy's t-shirts together. Can you hear that?
I can.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. Are you hungry?
No, I
Is
just
it your
ate
tummy
something.
rumbling?
That was my tummy. That was my tummy processing.
It's pretty loud and scary.
Yeah?
She's just not an alien.
Does that scare you?
Yeah.
What about this? Boo!
No.
No. Okay. A money jar.
Mm-hmm.
My friend, kids don't have any money. What use is a money jar?
Some do, I suppose. Or don't. Because their parents don't.
Okay, so the kids get a money jar,
Mm-hmm.
and it's their money, and every time they get into a fight, money gets taken out of it and put into the parents' jar.
My God, we'd be rich.
And when
Yeah, but where do the kids? I mean, that's
don't
stupid.
know.
Where
I
do the
don't-
kids
I
get the
don't
money
know.
in the first place? They get it from the parents, right?
Yes, I'm taking back.
It's like,
I'm taking
I'm
back
giving
what
you
I
money
gave
and
you.
I'm taking it back. Yeah, so it's just like doesn't make sense. Okay.
No, but wait a minute. The nannying woman on
Mm.
TV did something like that. No.
Yeah, she did something with pennies. Yeah.
Yeah, where she used that as an incentive, and that
Mm-hmm.
appeared to have an effect, a positive effect, because they were able to measure things very specifically when they
They
were using
were.
money.
They were, but it was only good for measurement. I think if we did it with our kids, they'd be like whatever. They would care sometimes, and then other times they wouldn't. Just like the other girl, she'd like run out of all her 5 pences or whatever she was getting. Right, she got like 50 pence, right? So she had like 5 tenors. Every time she was bad, she lost a 10 pence coin, and she lost all 5 of them, and she was like, well, whatever. Now I can be as bad as I want because there's nothing else to lose, right?
If you ain't got nothing, then there's nothing to lose.
Exactly. So I think it's a double-bladed sword, as they say.
Lightsaber, probably.
Mm-hmm. Double-bladed lightsaber.
Right. Be calm. Some people recommend that you should let the siblings work it out themselves.
Right.
Well, that's obviously what started it. So they've taught their children the conflict resolution skills, so that when fighting breaks out, the parents stay out of it, intervening only when absolutely necessary.
That's the ideal,
to save
right?
grandmother's china, I imagine.
That's the ideal situation where you teach your kids skills how to work it out, and then you just let them work it out. Yay, great, good job, congratulations. We're not there yet. We're teaching them how to work it out, but you can't really teach a 2-year-old how to work it out diplomatically. So, I mean, Will and Zora can work things out usually. Girls, can you play with that together, please?
But Zora tries very hard to involve Jasmine in certain activities.
Not always, sometimes.
I didn't say always.
Yeah. You said it as a general statement.
Yes. But
So yeah, she tries.
okay.
Des fois.
Separate them. Well, that's what we just had to do,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's. But I mean, there are different levels of separation, right? There's separate them like 1 meter. There's separate them like either sides of the room. There's separate them like put them behind something. There's separate them like have them in different rooms.
Just pull them apart from each other so they don't scratch their eyes out.
Yeah. It also recommends giving them time limits, but children don't really have a very good grasp or concept of time. So I think that still turns out to be abstract. At the
Zora
end of
would
the day.
kind of get it if she had a timer, but Jasmine, you crazy? Jasmine, wait a second. And she just goes on and on and on. Okay, Jasmine, you can do this in 5 minutes.
They were very patient with the marshmallow experiment.
Yeah, they were.
That we did, which is on.
They were, but you also might have noticed that Jasmine only was patient because she had the other kids cheering her on, saying, "Don't eat it yet! Don't eat it yet! You have to not."
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. The encouragement from other siblings.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that she still doesn't have a concept of time. If they weren't there, she would eat them immediately.
Okay. I think that if kids are getting enough exercise outside anyway, that they shouldn't really be fighting. I think the kids have been inside a little bit too much recently, and that's going to exacerbate problems.
Yeah, it is going to exacerbate problems. Yes.
So I think that if you've got a garden, and we live in a flat, so obviously we can't really do this in winter. But if you've got a garden, you could send one of the kids out into the garden, right? Or both the kids, or more kids. If you've got more kids.
Going out definitely helps things. It helps them get the energy out. It doesn't prevent the fights.
You could have a thinking chair or a thinking bench or something where the kids have to sit down and think. No,
I don't think that works in parenting. No. It's like sending them in the corner or sending them in their rooms. Like, go and think about what you've done. They don't think about what they're freaking done. All they're thinking about is, oh my God, I don't want to be sitting here. I'm angry and I want to get out. I have been sent to the corner to think about what I've done a million times as a kid. I'm really sorry that I did that with you. Shut up. Okay. A million times as a kid. And I never ever thought about what I've done. Okay. I knew what I had to do was apologizing. Okay. And I was extremely angry. And I needed time to cool down a little bit. To get over the humiliation of going back and apologizing.
Why is it humiliating to apologize?
I don't know. It just was. It just felt that way.
That's not really an answer. It just was.
I don't know why it felt that way. I just gave you an answer. I don't know.
Isn't that because you've been taught that it's humiliating to apologize?
Obviously, somehow. The question is how. Why did I get the wrong message?
Well, you didn't get the wrong message. You got the right message.
Perhaps the act of punishing me before apologizing. Perhaps the apology felt like a part of the punishment. Perhaps because the punishment itself was humiliating, therefore the apology as a part of the punishment was humiliating also. Would that make sense?
It would make some kind of sense. I mean, it would obviously be wrong to associate apologies with punishments, although it might actually be that it was, but of course it's a wrong type of methodology.
Well, you're ashamed. I mean, when you do something wrong and then you have to go to somebody and apologize, you're ashamed of what you've been doing, right?
Perhaps. I haven't thought about it a lot. Are you ashamed?
I don't know.
Why is it embarrassing to apologize?
I would probably feel ashamed, scared, shy at the same time. If it was an adult that I would have to apologize to, I would be scared and shy to even go and apologize, right? Because I was very shy as a kid.
Hard to believe.
So I would rather stand in the corner and be quiet, and I would usually
Jazzy, do you need to pee? Okay, remember to do it on the potty. Yeah? Okay.
When I was a kid and that was done to me, whether at school or whatever else, I would just stay there and wait for the adult to come to me and say, "So, did you think about what you've done? Are you ready to apologize?" And then I would have to say, "I'm sorry." But I didn't think about what I've done. I didn't think about whether it was wrong or right. I didn't think about, what should I do now? Not at all. It never worked like that.
What
All
did you
I could
think
think about was, I don't like standing here. I'm extremely angry. I'm feeling very helpless. I don't know why I'm here. It's not fair. It wasn't my fault. I didn't start it. And all those kind of things.
So how do you think they should have approached those kinds of problems?
I don't know. Well, you know me, right? I'm not for punishment, so I would just first of all.
How would you treat criminals then?
How do you treat criminals?
You said you're not for punishment, and
criminals are not punished. Criminals are not
going
punished.
to prison is not a punishment.
No. Criminals are removed from the society.
But as a punishment, they're
dressed, they're fed.
They don't have their freedoms. That's a punishment.
Yes, but
criminals are not punished.
Only because there's nothing else that you can do with them to protect the other people from them. Okay, what other option do you have?
Protect them from themselves as well.
If you want to protect other people from the criminals, what other option do you have than to lock the criminals up? They're fucking punished. I mean, they don't have to do anything, right? Okay, they probably have some kind of job that they have to go to, some days, but they have a roof over their heads. They have food that they can eat. They have freaking television and whatever.
You make it sound like a holiday.
It is a freaking holiday, right? Okay, it's not a holiday. I know that prisons are terrible places, but that's because they're filled with terrible people that do bad things. It's not the prison itself that makes it bad. It's the people that are in there that makes it bad. It's the inmates that make it bad. And the fact that you can't move freely, right? But you can't move freely if you're dangerous for the society. I mean, that's a natural consequence. It would be punishment. You know when it would be punishment? It would be punishment if they took them and they whipped them, or if you had the death penalty or whatever, that would be a punishment. But locking them away from society is a natural consequence, in my opinion.
It's not a punishment.
I don't see it as a punishment.
Curious. One-on-one time. It makes a big difference to siblings, apparently. Now, we just sort of discussed that a little bit with giving each child a designated period of time during the day. And I think in general that's a good idea. I'm not sure it's going to remove situations of conflict, but it's definitely an avenue worth exploring if people haven't explored that already. I know that I should probably have a bit more one-to-one time, which I'm trying to make
Me too, because I have a lot of general, all free time with them, and it's not natural. It's not something that comes naturally in your day-to-day life. It's something that you have to make a point of, something that you have to set special time aside for, because otherwise you're not going to do it. Because it is not a natural thing that happens as you go along. Unless there is
if you plan your actions,
situation.
then it could be a natural consequence of your actions if you plan it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It needs to be planned. It's not something that just happens during your day, like other things.
Well, you could create an environment for it.
Yes, that's as well what I said.
Okay.
That you have to make an effort to do that. It doesn't just happen.
Some parents ask their kids to hug it out. This means to keep hugging until they stop being mad at each other.
I don't know if that would work. I don't know.
That's like more physical contact.
I don't think it's a good idea. I don't know. I've never been asked to hug it out with my brother, right? But I've been asked to do stupid things like shake your hands. Shake your hands, friends. And we're like, either you would try to rip the other person's hand apart because you're so angry, or you would shake it like I'm touching something disgusting. So forcing
Shake
kids,
it out, hug it out.
Forcing kids that are extremely angry at each other, not with the older kids. Maybe it would work with the younger kids. We should try that with Jasmine and Zara.
Have an instant dance party. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, that might work.
There you go.
But then it's
Change the
distracting them.
focus.
It's distracting them, yeah.
Yeah, create
It's
distractions.
turning a negative situation into a positive situation, into a fun.
Have a toy that
fun
makes
something.
a certain noise that you hide somewhere. And then every time you see something about to happen, you set off the toy, and
be a funny noise.
funny noise, and the kids have to find it. That's another way you could
could
prepare
just have a
distractions
squeaky.
in advance.
It's just a squeaky toy, and somebody's fighting. It could be it could be a signal. You squeak the toy, it's a signal. Cut it out. I would lose the toy though, and then I would have to make the squeaky sound myself.
It's just a squeak.
Yeah.
To make a squeaky sound.
Mhm.
Well, don't lose the toy then. Be more responsible.
Put it on a string around my neck.
And then everyone will just call you Squeaky.
They already call me all different kinds of things. So.
One more name won't hurt. Right.
Yeah, Jelly Belly and Monkey. What was it? Something greedy monkey.
I'm not sure. I forget those things instantly because they're all so bizarre that there's nothing to hang on to in my mind. Make kids clean up after they after they fight. First of all, that doesn't stop the fighting. I mean, what do you do? Go to two kids who are fighting and say, "Okay, guys, stop, clean up." Like that's not going to work.
Huh? Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Where do these people get these ridiculous ideas
Secondly,
from?
they're using cleaning up as a punishment, so every time they clean up, they're going to associate it with a punishment.
Yes, you've got to go back to the Mary Poppins. And every job that must be done, there's an element of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Bless you.
All magic comes at a price. That wasn't the right accent.
That was the dark Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, it was. Right, let me see if I can. All magic comes at a price, dearie.
That was just like Wells football teacher.
Okay. Oh, it's not happening. Okay. There you go. You could probably do it better than
No. I'm not even going to try. I did the turkey last time. That was
the famous turkey noises. Oh, you have to talk about that American food thing that you were telling me about.
the turducken.
That blows my mind.
I know.
That's like, you know what that's like? That's like getting a pig and stuffing it in a sheep, and then getting the pig sheep and then stuffing it in a cow, and then eating it. Right?
Well, you can't stuff a pig in the sheep because the pig is slightly bigger than the sheep.
Is it? I thought pigs were smaller than sheep.
What?
I was imagining a smaller pig.
You wouldn't kill a small pig.
Okay,
Let
stuff
it
the sheep
grow.
in the pig then. I don't care which way around you do it. Just do it. Although some reason I imagined there'd be more space in the sheep than the pig.
Yeah, this is what us Europeans.
What? Oh, excuse me?
This is what us Europeans do not get. The stuffing chicken into a duck and into a turkey. What do you get out of it? I mean, why would you even? How?
Why would you want to
The
do
duck
that?
opening is not big enough for the chicken, right?
Why
Do you
would
take the bones out of the chicken first, or do you just get a duck with an immensely large butthole, or I don't know. I mean,
Get me a duck with a big butt.
I mean, what do you feed your ducks, people, if you can stuff a chicken inside of it?
Well,
I
it's
don't
not very
know.
pleasant for the chicken.
And I imagine
Hopefully they're dead at the time.
I don't know how big a turkey cavity is after you take the guts out. Because I've never gutted a turkey, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to stuff a chicken into those ducks that we had. But then our ducks were quite small.
I don't know, maybe you get some kind of special tool that opens it up and allows you to stuff it in.
God, it just no. Just reminded me of something. Right. So
Okay.
yeah.
Right. What's it called? What's it called again? Turducken?
Turducken. Yeah. Do you remember that movie that we had? The time traveling turkeys. The free birds.
There's something about it. I remember seeing part of it. And
Yeah. And there was this turkey that was time traveling, and they had to change the tradition of Thanksgiving so that people don't eat turkeys at Thanksgiving. So they traveled in time to the time of the Indians, and they changed it to pizza. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, this time traveling turkey is like, okay, bye. I'll see you sometime later. And then suddenly, in like 1 second, he snaps back, right? And they're like, oh, you were just gone 1 second. And he's like, well, that's what you think. I've been gone for ages. And they're like, so what's the problem? And he's like, standing there with death in his eyes, and he said, have you ever heard about turducken? There's the end of the movie. But it's really funny because those were turkeys. And there was there was a turkey that married a chicken as well, so they looked a bit bewildered as he said that.
What does that result in? A turkey or chicken?
Turkin.
Chicken? I don't know, whatever, something like that. Okay. Give them a puzzle. Okay, that's not going to work either. Guys, stop fighting.
They're just
Here's a puzzle.
fight over the puzzle.
You have to distract them. You have to present them with something which is more interesting, more unusual, or more surprising than what they're already doing.
I have noticed that turning the situation into a humorous one works, but I don't want to know how to solve it once they're fighting, right? I mean, I know how to solve the problem once they're fighting, but I don't want to have to come 30 times a day to solve fights in the first place. I want to prevent it. I don't want to solve it.
Yeah, you want to stop it before it starts.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to stop the fighting. I want to prevent the fighting, but I don't want to have to prevent it by stopping it before it starts, because then again I'm going to have to end up to go in there 30 times stopping it before it starts, right? I just want to do something consistently so that it just doesn't happen, or when it does happen they sort it out themselves, right? So that I don't have to interfere all the time.
But that's preparing them for the conflict, the situation of conflict, basically.
Yeah, get my ebook free.
Do you have an ebook? Where's your ebook? Where's your parenting book? The book that you're like, oh yes, I'm going to make a parenting book and worksheets to go with all the parenting materials and stuff.
Where's yours?
No, I wasn't the one who said I was going to make a book and worksheets and all things.
You're always asking me, what's this? What's happening there? Why are you doing this?
It's only because you said you were going to do it.
I'm getting there. I'm trying to freaking survive right now, okay? I don't have...
What, are you being attacked by something? I mean, what's the survival thing?
Yes, I'm trying to survive. I don't have time to sit down and put my legs up and write in a book for 3 hours a day, because I have to do things for 3 hours a day. Listen, look.
Listen, look.
Both of those things, okay?
Yes, which one first? Touch, taste, smell.
Kids in household, here, okay?
Oh, what? Is this? Oh, it's kind of abstract
here,
picture.
Right?
Okay.
Then you get like, special time for work, here. Not that much.
Over here.
Yeah? A bit less than that,
okay.
Right? And it's like, okay, paid work or unpaid work? Well, I only have this much time to work, so I'm going to freaking use it for paid work. Right? Unpaid work? At the end, somewhere here. If I can't sleep at night. Right? Or if I don't have anything paid to do. Right? But I can't make the unpaid work a priority because I don't have the time within the day, within those 24 hours to do that. I would love to do that.
Or make the day longer.
By sleeping less, maybe. But you know what happens when I don't sleep?
It out.
When I don't sleep, I'm angry and I'm mean. And I shout and yell.
Did you sleep well last night?
Have you noticed?
Did you have a good sleep?
And then you're like, ooh, I don't like this attitude.
I don't like this attitude.
I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry.
Is that an apology? Do you want to shake hands on it? No, she smells.
A little bit. It's the t-shirt. It's an old t-shirt.
It's the t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's the t-shirt.
Well, when you have an old t-shirt, it smells every time you sweat in it. You have a new t-shirt, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's why we have washing machines, though.
Yeah, it's washed. That's not what I mean.
Well,
It doesn't mean that
washed, then why is it
for a
smelling?
long time. Because it's called bacteria buildup. Have you ever heard about that?
What are you talking about?
When you've got a t-shirt that's like 3 or 4 years old, then there's going to be bacteria buildup in your armpit areas, and every time it gets anywhere near your sweat, it's going to start ranking like a dead skunk. If you don't want me to fucking smell, get me a new t-shirt. I'm sorry.
I've got some t-shirts in my
I'm
drawer.
usually
You can
really
have-
kind and
you could-
really
You can
understanding.
have one if you need.
Yeah,
Yeah, Will got some for Christmas. No, you probably fit into his.
probably, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't sleep
I've got
much
an
last
extra
night.
t-shirt.
No, you don't.
I do. I've got an extra one. I got a couple of extra ones that I got.
Do you need to use the potty?
Jesus. She said she needs a nappy. She's actually asking. Why is she asking to wear a nappy?
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe she,
Will, can you bring a nappy, please? For me, please. From the bathroom, please. Thank you very much.
Bow, 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 bow. Do, 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 do.
So yeah, I'm really not this aggressive usually. It's just that time of year. And the stress builds up.
It's that time of year when the world falls in love.
I'm easily triggered. It's not that time of year at all.
It's Christmas.
It's not.
It's Christmas. Do, 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 do. I'm sure there's some song that goes like that.
Come on.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, it's just you okay down there?
She's jazzing.
There's me and a clump of hair on the screen.
Jazzing away.
Anyway, back to discussions about siblings. Ways to encourage stronger bonds and proactively prevent problems. One of the ways to do that, according to suggestions on the worldwide net, and we're going to disagree with these ones as well, I think. A set of suggestions here. It says, solve problems with toys by treating toys as communal property. That's horrible.
That's going to do the opposite.
Yeah, because I think that people should learn that there are things that don't belong to them.
And
that they should
there
learn.
are things that do belong to them as well.
Yes.
Sorry.
You're right there.
Yeah, just making a mess on the wall. What?
She said. She said in passing. Right.
Passing what?
I don't know. Anything. Passing a bus. I don't know. So.
Making me laugh. Sorry, I just remembered that story you told me yesterday.
Story. Yesterday? What story? Wait a minute.
The one about... I'm sorry. I'm tired. The one about we turn the light off and fight.
Sorry, I can't hear
It was such
you.
a funny story.
I can't hear you laughing so much. What?
You said that when you were a kid, you used to turn the light off in the room and fight.
What's so funny about that?
It was so funny because you said it as if it was something normal.
I thought kids everywhere did that. Is that not normal? I thought that was absolutely normal for boys.
No.
You go into a room, you turn all the lights off, so no one can see anything. In Scotland, it's like dark anyway, right? So it's not difficult. So no one can see anyone or anything.
Yeah.
And you just start fighting.
It's just...
And of course, you can't blame anyone for anything because you don't know who's hit who.
That's so funny. I'm sorry. It's like saying, oh, when we were kids, we used to go and catch the mammoth. Or, just go and lick the earthworms. Or, I don't know. It's just weird. The best thing we've done when we were kids was turn the light off and fight with each other.
Then we used to run at trees and try and knock them over. No, that's not true.
Tossing capers and chasing sheep.
Neighbours as well. Anyway, no, I thought boys did that everywhere.
I don't know. I'm not a boy.
Oh, it's a boy.
So
There's nothing stopping girls doing it except they'll probably kill each other.
We did fight as girls actually, but we did it much
Can you
more.
imagine the fun of like being in a dark room and just,
No, I can't.
waving and throwing your arms and feet around and,
I
hitting people and getting hit
I
and
can't imagine the fun
instead
of
of all
that.
being okay. Right?
I can't imagine the fun of that. No, we fought in a more diplomatic way.
What, did you write letters to each other?
No, we'd have a designated area, right, for the fight, and then two people would stand there in a designated area, and they try to wrestle each other out.
Well, why did you stop?
Well, because we had to go home
Or maybe
for
we
dinner.
maybe we should have that here. We should have a designated fighting area. If you're going to fight, rather than stopping the fighting, right? Say if you're going to fight, you have to fight in this area.
Right.
So it
it's
goes
not a
in-
good idea to do that with kids. One is stronger and one is weaker, and the stronger always wins. And I didn't like that when I was a kid. My mom
the bigger
was
they
like,
are, the harder they fall.
my mom'd be like, "No, it's the other way around. The bigger they are, the smaller they are, the harder they fall because they're not as strong." I mean, what my mom used to do sometimes, she'd be like, "Oh,
She would beat you up.
sort it out yourselves, right?" I'd be fighting with my brother, or the other way around. My brother would be fighting with me, and I'd be like, "Mom, help!" And she'd be like, "Oh, sort it out yourselves, right?"
Mhm.
And it's like, how the am I supposed to sort it out myself? And he's twice as big and twice as strong, right? It's not fair for the weaker one. So it's not a good idea.
But you don't learn. I'm not saying it's a good idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
But unless you sort of wrestle with people who are bigger and stronger than you don't learn what it means to wrestle with someone who's bigger and stronger than you.
Well, why do you think they go to fighting lessons?
To learn how to fight.
Yeah. At some point, they're gonna be fighting against people who are bigger and stronger than them. They don't
Well,
have to.
only as a last resort if the reasoning breaks down.
Exactly. I don't know. I think that the younger kids should have assistance of their parent when they need it, if they're being attacked by the older kids. But then in our situation, in our family, it's usually the other way around. So yeah, I don't know.
Should you give the older child more authority to break up the conflicts with the younger children?
I don't know. Should you give the older kid more authority over anything?
Well, yeah. Well, naturally, there's more responsibility because you're older naturally,
Mm-hmm.
and with responsibility should come some level of authority. I'm not.
That was
talking about a
another
big
thing that I
difference.
didn't like as a kid.
What?
When I had to babysit my sister, and that was just a really bad.
Oh well,
look
babysitting is
after.
not a job for a sister. It's not a job for a brother or a sister.
Yeah, I know.
And secondly, it shouldn't be a job to spend time with your own family.
Well, it
That
wasn't
doesn't
a
make sense.
job, okay, but it was.
That's what babysitting is. Babysitting is a job. Babysitting is a job.
It wasn't
Work.
a job.
It's
okay,
work.
It was
People do it professionally.
Yeah, I
it's
know,
work.
but that's what I mean. They didn't give it to me as a job, as a paid
Yes, but,
job
it,
or
but
whatever.
no, but it is a job. They did give it to you as a job.
They
didn't
gave it
pay
to me
you
as
for it.
work.
So same fucking
Yes.
thing, right?
So.
Yes, but it's
So-
not. You don't
Yeah,
give
like,
it to siblings
okay,
as
go
work.
outside or whatever and look after your sister, or go and pick up your sister from school or whatever. And they're like, well, I hated doing that, or keep an eye on your sister. I hated doing that. I hated keeping an eye on my sister because I had no authority, right, towards her. I mean, I was no authority for her, Okay, because I was a kid, she was a kid. She didn't give a damn. She didn't listen to me. She did whatever she wanted because she was used to the fact that, you know, she was used to the physical punishment thing, right? Where you only listen if there's a threat, if there's a direct threat, okay? So there's absolutely no threat coming from me because I wasn't. Maybe if I was my brother, right, that would have worked, but I wasn't. So if I had to keep an eye on my sister, that'd be like hell, because that meant for my sister that she can do whatever she wants, and it meant for me that I'm responsible for everything stupid that she does, but I can't do anything to prevent it.
Yeah, that's misplaced authority.
Yeah, so that'd be like, please don't do it. I'm gonna get in trouble if you do. Right.
Yeah, well, and also, you know, putting a child in a position which you must understand that they can't handle.
Yeah,
is obviously
I'm a bit allergic to that, and sometimes you do it too with Will. You know, like, Will, keep an eye on your sister. Make sure that she doesn't, you know, make sure that she doesn't hurt herself. Sometimes he can't.
Oh, I'm aware of the fact that I ask him to do impossible things sometimes. I'm very much aware of that, but I do give him impossible tasks sometimes just to see what the result is.
Yeah,
just
I know.
To see how he reacts, because you know the alternative is not putting him in that position and not knowing. So
yeah,
I'd rather observe and put him in that position and see. You know, I'm not in the middle of it, but I'm observing externally.
I guess I'm triggered by that because of my own experience with my siblings. So there, now you know. Now you know what I'm triggered by.
Like everything. Almost everything. Quite a few things. Something.
What about you?
Me.
I'm triggered by things.
You
were extremely pissed off this morning.
When?
Just the entire morning. It was like...
I wasn't here the entire morning.
When you were here, you were pissed off. It was like anytime I said... I felt like anything I said, you got pissed off about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
It's okay. I've noticed that you do that when you're stressed. Are you stressed?
I need to fart, but I'm not really stressed.
I feel like I'm constantly stressed. It's the bad thing.
Oh, well, obviously. It's probably why your hair's falling out.
It's not falling, it's growing back.
Oh, okay. Whatever you say as I walk around picking up bits and pieces of hair from everything. But I don't know.
It's normal because it's long. It's long hair does. I can cut it.
I'm not stressed today because I don't have any coaching sessions, so I don't have that. Although there's I've got all these little bits and pieces of paperwork which are really annoying but have to be done anyway. That's a pain in the ass. I have to set aside an hour this afternoon.
I'm constantly stressed because I feel this need to do things and the not enough time to do them. And I feel this obligation to achieve something. And on the other hand, the feeling that I can't achieve it.
Yeah, it doesn't help when you use words like thing or something in sentences which are important to you.
Okay.
Because that just doesn't...
I feel the obligation to be very successful in my career life and in a business that I'm going to set, right? I'm feeling a big pressure to create an online business and make a lot of money with it, right?
There's nothing wrong with creating an online business and making a lot of money with it.
And I get extremely stressed about it because I feel like I don't have enough time to do that, and that stress even creates less time to do that because I spend more time being stressed and less time doing it. It's just like, if I don't do this right now, by tomorrow, I'm going to die kind of feeling. It's not very nice.
Well, I've given you certain suggestions and pointers to help you with that. Some of them you've taken, some of them you haven't.
Yeah, you have. You have. That doesn't help me with the stress.
Maybe you need to take a step back from it all.
Well, you can't, because you've got that stress that tells you that you can't.
But you can.
Well, you can't, because if you take a step back from it all, then it's not going to move you forward.
Well, I'm not talking about not doing anything about it.
What are you talking about?
I'm just talking about just getting some headspace. Getting some headspace. It's important to get some headspace. We'll talk about it before the end of the week.
What is that? No, I mean, it's just getting bigger. Look.
What, your headspace? Oh my god, what's that on the side of your head?
It looks like it's like the
Captain
long-armed squid.
Captain Hook.
Yeah, I know.
Hook head.
It's the long-armed squid
coming out the side of your
arm.
head. That's weird.
Yeah.
Can I call you Captain Long-Armed Squid Arm?
I'm going to do a Trump hair.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
That's lovely. It looks like Superman gone horribly wrong. Okay.
It's my Trump hair.
Okay. Oh, look.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Finally they started making money for us.
They've given us five
we must be doing something right.
5 English pennies. Dubbins is Dubbins. Right. I'm sure they did well. I'm sure they did well. Right. Well, that's something for us to talk about in the what might be penultimate or ultimately final Practical Parenting podcast, which will be launched out into the world very soon. So
and very ultimately.
It will. It will. Things have to.
Okay.
Okay. Super cool. And don't throw it, darling. Please don't throw the egg across the living room.
Can I see?
An egg. She's got an egg. You want eggs?
Okay, there is one that's boiled in the fridge for you
Okay,
already.
super cool. Right, we're going to go and do lunch. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for listening.
Have an egg. It's good for you.
It's goodbye from her and it's goodbye from me. And we will catch up with you at some point online. The Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching on YouTube, Facebook, 21st Century Mom. And leave any questions and comments in the videos, wherever you find them.
See you later, guys. Have an egg and have a nice day.
Yeah. Have an egg. Have an egg. Cool. Everybody wants eggs. Cool.
Am I going to drop it?
Of course you're not going to drop it. It's Christmas. Oh. Problems to solve.
Stop biting me! Because you hurt me and I'm hurting you! Hey, you jumped and I was trying to stop you from hurting me!
More fights.